Oh hey, welcome to my screen printing studio. Come on in. Are you comfortable? Do you want any water? I'm kind of thirsty actually. It took a lot of ups and downs, but I finally set up my screen printing room. I plan on working out of this studio for the next couple years, so I know for sure I'm probably gonna change a few things in that time, but for now, it's perfect for me. My boyfriend and I moved into a new house in June, and I actually started working on this room in July. So it's been quite a while since I started putting things together in here. We put things one way, I didn't like it, I moved things around, so it took a lot of shifting and rearranging to get it to where it is today. I have not set up a washout booth, so if you are sifting through the video to find out where my washout booth is, I don't have it. I don't have it set up. If you're new to my channel, I'm Adriana. I'm an artist. I work from home, and this is my screen printing studio. Before we get started, grab yourself a little snack, hit like on this video to support the channel, and get ready to watch me set up my at-home printing studio. I thought I could talk to you a little bit about the history of my art business while you watch me set up my printing room. When I first started making art and selling it online, I never expected my bestsellers to be screen printed items. I opened an Instagram account for my art in 2018, and at the time, I was only selling portraits and stickers here and there. It feels like I've lived 100 lifetimes since then. At one point, I tried block printing to make party invitations, and eventually I discovered screen printing. I learned most of the things I know from YouTube and trial and error. And although I did go to art school for a few semesters, I ended up graduating with a degree in cultural anthropology, so I have very limited formal printmaking training. During my first year of screen printing, I was working at a coffee shop in Florida, and during the holidays, they hosted a small artist market, and this was my very first in-person event. Here's my setup. It was one table, a few stickers, and I think 2 screen printed designs. I ended up doing so well at this market, and I really wanted to keep going after this. Then everything just kind of fell into where I am today. Recently, I decided to make a few changes with how I do drops and sell items from line to line. In the past, I've ordered a bunch of blank t-shirts and other items, anything I felt like printing really. Then I would print all of them and attempt selling them at in-person events or markets, and also via my website. This worked for a while, but I felt really limited artistically since I was printing the same thing over and over. I really wanted to make something that I was excited about. So I had a huge closeout sale, and I put a hold on my online store for a little while so I could gather my thoughts. A little bit before my closeout sale, I also started a Patreon, and starting a Patreon was something I'd been putting off for literally months, maybe years. Mostly because I was scared it wouldn't do well. Like, putting all of this thought and effort and time into creating something that might not do well is super scary. But eventually I finally did it, and so far it's been really fun. I get to create new pieces for my physical mail tiers every single month, which is exactly what I was missing when I was screen printing the same thing over and over. I'm still getting the hang of it, but I'm really loving the process so far. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. A few hours have passed, and I completely rearranged everything. Well, I just moved this shelf behind me to a new corner because that corner was a little unstable. I do have to take the platen holder off the wall, so I'm gonna have to find a new spot for it, but that's okay. I'm gonna patch up those holes and just keep going. I'm also getting very sweaty because there's no AC in this room. So I'm gonna do as much as I can for right now and then see where the day takes me tomorrow. This room might look small, but it's actually quite spacious. I definitely had to downsize a lot from my previous studios just to make everything fit, but throughout the years of screen printing and kind of figuring out my process, I've learned what I need and what I don't need. You might have seen in my packing up video from my last studio that I sold my flash dryer, which was not necessary anymore since I'm not really printing large quantities. And now I'll only be using my heat press, so I think that'll be good. Also, I took off one of the legs for my screen printing press because since I'm not printing that many things, I thought that it would be okay to just take one of the legs off. Another thing I want to do is set up my drying rack. I don't have a drying rack, but I want to build a drying rack in my closet so I can dry my screens in there. For now, let's set up all of the stuff on the walls and hang up the squeegee holder and maybe declutter a little bit. Gave up on all of those things I said I was gonna do the other day because it got too hot in here and I got distracted. So let's do that today and actually stick to the plan. Going to start by taking everything out of here so I can put in my new little shelves I made. And by shelves I mean just like pieces of wood I cut. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. This is the wood. I'm gonna use these to attach it to the wall. So, yeah. I took everything I did down because my plan didn't work, probably because I didn't measure anything. So I just went back outside and cut the wood again into 5-inch pieces, and I'm gonna start all over. So yeah, let's do it. I'm going to put up my exposure light on the shelf here and see how that works out. I think it'll be perfect because after putting up my shelves yesterday, I did coat some screens for work, and it's going to be really nice to just be able to take them out of the closet and then expose them right here next to the closet. Something about this room is that it gets extremely hot very fast, but that's okay. I'll just, where's my clip? Okay, this is my very trusty shelf from IKEA. I've had it for years. It's always held my screens, and usually it holds my Canon printer that I use for my transparencies, but I put that in the other room just so that it's closer to my laptop where I actually print the transparencies from. The shelf holds all of my bigger containers of ink. These are the ones I probably use the most. And I also have my platen tape and a random roll of paper that I use to protect my table sometimes. This shelf is where I ended up putting my exposure light. I actually love the way this turned out. It works perfectly. The screen fits right here, and I just take my screens out of the closet, which I will show you in a second, and then expose them right here. It is the perfect setup, and when I'm not using it, I can take it down, which is also really nice, so I can use this for storage. Down here, I have my smaller screens, and then below are my bigger screens, the ones I usually use for everything. Okay, moving on to this corner. There's not a lot going on over here. This corner is where I used to have my table set up in the other direction. It was facing the wall, but after doing a little project in here yesterday, I realized that I like it this way better. This is where my squeegees live, and this, and my corkboard. Down here, let me move the camera. This is where my heat press lives, and it is kind of tucked away in this corner, but it was the only place in here that I figured out it could work. I can show you what's in these drawers if you want. Only if you want. Top drawer is mostly screen printing supplies and other miscellaneous things. I have spatulas, scissors, and just like random screen printing stuff. Second drawer is just more screen printing supplies, just some stuff that I use less than the top drawer. Third drawer is literally just scrap paper. This drawer has all of my sewing supplies. And then the bottom drawer, honestly, just a bunch of random stuff. Let's move on to the closet. Just kidding. This is the closet. Currently, the closet is housing some t-shirts, but usually I can use it as my drying rack. I'll just show you. It's pretty good. Okay, so this is my drying rack. I built this, it took way too long, as I'm sure you saw, and it's very wonky, and I definitely put a lot of extra holes in the wall that I didn't need to put in there, but it works great. They fit this way. Anyway, you get the point. Dry in here, and then when the emulsion is done drying, I just expose them right over here in the shelf I already showed you. So I love this little setup. Does that look okay? I don't know. This is gonna be my work table. This is where I mix ink. I'm gonna just use this as a multi-purpose table. Other side of the room. This side is the printing side. I do have these big curtains, which I use when I am exposing my screens to keep the daylight out. Eventually I do want to get some blinds though. I love having windows in my studio. You might know that in my last studio, I didn't really have windows because it was in the basement. This is a kind of a tight corner, but I really only keep my cart here. It has my most used supplies. So up here I keep gloves and emulsion. I have my platen adhesive up here as well, my spray bottle. I have a bunch of ink on the second level, and on the bottom I think there's just more ink. I think like every artist has one of these in their studio or in their office. Moving on to my press. This is my trusty printing press. It has been with me for a few years and I love it. And underneath it, I have a few extra t-shirts that I printed that I have left over. The other bin is just, I think, misprints and other blank t-shirts. I think that concludes my screen printing tour. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos from me. And I will talk to you in the next one.